Welcome in, everybody, to the Week 4 Commissioner's Address. It is a rivalry week, and it was a good one. There were some really good matchups, there were some really high scores, there was some good football. I hate my team. The injuries hit hard this past week. I'd been lucky thus far, but things might look better than they initially did in that regard. So we'll take a look at that. Let's hop into the matchups. You know, when I told Spencer that beating him was like killing a baby, it was less of an insult to him and more of an insult to us. Because you look at our matchup, it ended up, oh, you guys can't quite see it here, let's see. Right there, 120 to 114. And then you got the matchup below us, 175 to 159. This is like Rocky fucking Balboa down here, and then there's our matchup, Spencer, and it's like you just caught a cold in June and could crack it. It was a tough one. I 120 points from my team. You guys all saw it. Rashi Rice getting fucking TKO'd by Patrick Mahomes, who happens to be on Spencer's team, so I think that's rather fucked up. And then Neighbors got a concussion at the end there because Daniel Jones throws him suicide bombs all the time. It's like, here's 15 concussion opportunities. He did catch 12 for 115, no tutties. But it was enough, even though Rashi Rice had no points. Carson Steele had negative 0.4. And I'm gonna let the playlist play here because, you know, this isn't for you, Spencer. Again, this is for us. This was just an awful battle. Carson Steele, negative 0.4. Mike Evans has been good. Laser Mayfield has been slinging it. Brock Bowers has been good. He did not have a week. Amari, he had that long touchdown call back. I think it was 70 yards or 90 yards. So his line could have looked a lot better. Jaden Daniels, holy shit. If I could give a separate Superman of the Week for Jaden Daniels of the year, really, 82% completion over the year. Here's a stat. Jaden Daniels has more scoring drives than incompletions this season in 4 games. More scoring drives than incompletions. 23 scoring drives for Jaden Daniels and 19 incompletions over those 4 games. He looks ridiculous. You know who else looks ridiculous? The Minnesota Vikings. I thought I was crazy paying for a defense and then putting them up against Green Bay. And then I almost ate all my fucking words because Minnesota had such a huge lead and then almost coughed it up. But still ended up with 13 points, giving up 29 against Green Bay, so I'm happy with that. Let's move on to this huge battle between Greasy Boners and Chief of Stafford. Greasy Boners was on pace for over 200 points, or at least close to 200 points a couple of times, and I thought, well, if he breaks that mark, he's going to earn Superman of the Week. But he didn't even get there. He didn't even get close, actually. You have one of the most up and down teams because Jordan Love has been amazing when he's in. Jonathan Taylor has been great when he's in, but now he's injured. Achane and Hill, like that team is just a bit of a write-off till Tua comes back. Nico Collins is letting everybody know that he's the alpha there. There's no doubt about that. Isaiah Likely, I don't know, the tight end market this year has just been a gong show. Justin Fields was amazing and looks like a top 10 fantasy quarterback from here on out if he keeps playing the way he's playing. Certainly if they get Devontae Adams in Pittsburgh, that would be a little bit scary. You did have some points left on the bench with Kenneth Walker, so there's lots of ups and lots of downs on your team, Shane. But if you can get some of those holes filled up, it'd be all right. On the other side, Jared Goff, 18 for 18. He was perfect on the night. Bijan maybe not getting the utilization that Rob is hoping for, but maybe that will uptick. Good output from Jordan Jordan Reed. There's too many fucking names in this league. Good output there, and then Dontavian Wicks on the other side of the ball. Looks like he'll be coming in for the injury over there in Green Bay. Moving on. Whiskey Jack, big fucking anime TDs taking on Barry McCockiner. Oh, Justin. Lamar, 23. Kyron, 20. Pickens, 16. And then just a bunch of ass soup. You started Andrews. Damn. Just oof. Oof. Your whole team was oof. Richardson does not look good this year. That guy can't throw a ball, and when he does, it's like 9 times. 9 completions for 22 attempts. He's just not been good. Yeah. Tough week for big fucking anime TDs. Wade with a big week, 165 points. Jets with his 4th touchdown in as many weeks. He's the only player in the NFL with a touchdown in every single week. Derrick Henry, it helps when your first play from scrimmage goes for, 80 yards? I don't know, 75 yards and a touchdown. First touch. So he had a good game. He's looking good this year. San Francisco defense against the New England Patriots. They had a pick, 6 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, recovering 2 of them and 1 of them for a tutty. So a big defensive output there. Let's go to Dak Street Boys taking on Big DK Energy. Big DK Energy finally getting a dub for the first time in 2024. CJ Stroud coming through with 23 points, as did CD Lamb. Couple other mediocre performances, but it was enough. Gus Bus on the other side, 7 points from Etienne, 4.8 from Singletary, 11 and change from your top 2 running backs is not going to cut it unless Jamar Chase is going to get, 4 more touchdowns. But he was held fairly in check by Carolina at 17 points. Decent defensive outputs from Tennessee and Baltimore. Big DK Energy coming away with the win, 142 to 123. Huge erection taking on Cup My Staffers JK. Oh, it has been a rough season for you, Mickey. Jalen Hurts is missing his top 2 wide receivers, and he has been dishing it out to some extent, at least to his tight end there in Goddard. Montgomery has been good. Dobbins has had better weeks. Xavier Worthy might look up here if Rashi Rice is to miss multiple weeks. It looks like he doesn't have a torn ACL because they'd have seen that during the 2 MRIs that he had. He did have some points left on the bench, it looks like, between McConkey and Tampa Bay, although I think it was me that convinced you to start Cleveland over Tampa Bay. But I digress. You did come away with a huge win, 70 points in the gap, in the victory, and that is your first rivalry week win. So congratulations to Jordan. Make Comerica Drake Allen and the waiver wire a little bit of a, I was going to give it to the matchup, but I think I'm going to give it solely to Nick. Because to say that this week was important to him would have been a huge understatement. He was 1-5 going into this week, taking on Eric, who was 6-0, And this matchup was right in the middle of our league. So it came down to the wire on Monday night. And it was essentially worth 2 victories because the winner was going to be ahead in the median and the loser was going to be below. That's just kind of how it worked out on Monday night. And it was such a close matchup. It was so good. The waiver wire winning by 1.2 points. Just enough. No, it wasn't a huge week. Laser Mayfield did have 28 points. Deontay Johnson, 13 targets. It looks like the Red Rifle in Carolina is going to turn things around there a little bit, or at least he's dishing it out better than Bryce Young was, because yikes. And then Kelsey, has some value now, especially with Rice missing time. It's going to be interesting to see how they spread the ball out there in Kansas City. Mahomes is going to keep slinging it. Also, Eric, well done on the pickup on Pat Freiermuth. He is the only tight end in 2024 with 4 catches in every single week, which is just crazy. The tight end market is just, it's a nightmare this year, and I love it. I love fantasy football. So I'm going to take a quick look just because I forgot to mention the rivalry week heads up victory totals. With my win, I move the heads up matchup rankings, whatever the fuck you want to call it, to 9-9. So we are even in our matchups, and I have won the last 3. Shane, take it on. Rob. Shane, you increased the victory split to 7-3. And Jordan, Justin taking on Wade. Wade, you are up 7-2, and you have won the last 3. Will taking on Casey. Casey, you won your 8th victory to Will's 4. This is Jordan and Mickey. Jordan, you won your first rivalry, and you are now 1-2 against Mickey as he took both victories last year. And this will just kind of add on. Maybe I'll just continue the song here a little bit because Nick has his 11th win against Eric, which is crazy because Spencer and I have played each other more often than not. I'm sure that we have played each other more often than any other matchup because of the rivalry weeks. And we're 9-9. And Nick has beat you, Eric, 11 times. 11-4 is that matchup. Now, we are getting into bye weeks. It's a short bench. I can feel it. There's so many people on the waiver wire that I want. It's hard to know who to bid on. Everybody has been quite active. I feel like there's been a lot of money spent. We'll take a quick look at the rankings here. Make America Drake Allen in first place at 6-2, followed by Huge Erection in second at 6-2, followed by E.T. Phone Mahomes also at 6-2. Then there are the 5 and 3s led by Barry McCockiner, then Brown Neighbors Cook Smell, and Greasy Boners. That wraps up the 6 would-be playoff spots. Had the season ended today, now there was a stat that I put on the Facebook page. I'm just going to pull it up here because between those 6 players that are in those top 6 spots, they are separated by 17.9 points. Less than 18 points separates first to 6th, which is crazy. It's tight. The top 6 are tight. Rob, you are looking in at 4-4. You do have a win in hand against some of the teams behind you and a few more after that. Anyway, that is my week 4 commish address. We're going into bye weeks. Good luck, everybody. May your players stay healthy and ever unproductive.